So you want to know why I enrolled into UMGC now of all times, huh? Well, simply it's just to make progress with my life. I'm 29 years old, and only now am I working towards my associate's degree. It's a lousy feeling, like I could do so much more with my life. So I decided to change that and just further my education. It only took a week or two before I started feeling better. At first it was a really tough transition, going years not being in a school setting before, getting back into school. Whether it's a classroom or an online class, it's still the same. You still have to be in the right mindset, right mentality, right environment. But who would have thought I got back in school and now I realize how passionate I am about writing. It's something I always hated when I was younger. But I would have started school earlier, if I had the money to do so, but I had to pay rent, had to pay electric, water, internet, phone, car insurance, gas, maintenance costs for my car if and when it breaks down. So it just wasn't realistic, you know. When you're working 8 or 9 hour shifts and you don't have the tuition assistance that the military offers you like I do now, it maybe would have been possible, but it would have just been a huge challenge, right? I might just be majoring, in general studies or my focus for my degree, but it helps with a lot of the prerequisites for things I would like to do down the line, right? So if I wanted to do public speaking, I'm sure I did a speech class, if that counts, right? So there's that. For my finance class, there's a lot of entry level math, or for a finance major rather. There's a lot of math involved, and you have to take math for your general studies degree. Even if it's just a refresher course and doesn't directly apply to your major for finances, it helps. When you don't really use difficult level math for what 8, 10 years like I did, you just forget it. So it was a great refresher course, but this is helping me greatly. Not just to further my education, of course, as I need that. Who doesn't? But it also helps me get promotion points so I can transition to becoming a sergeant. And it gets rid, like I said, of a ton of prerequisites that literally any degree is going to ask you for. It's going to ask for some of them, right? Some of the things that really go underrated or underappreciated when people talk about getting back into school would be the professors you meet. Even the good ones, of course, right? You're going to remember them. You're going to be, man, that guy was so cool. Or she was great. I wonder how she's doing. But even the bad ones, you're going to ask yourself, how the hell did I survive that class? Or maybe even what you learned from it. I'm going through that now with my writing class. I'm not going to name drop, right? But she's tough. She is tough. But I'll tell you what, that rigidity she has with her rubric and her expectations are definitely helping me become a better writer. And even if I'm not really a fan of hers, it's something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. But I guess really the last thing I want to hit off on why I decided to join is I finally have the right support group. I have friends that are in the same state of mind that I am. We're all getting older. We're nearing our 30s, nice and dusty. But they understand. When you're in your late teens, early 20s, everybody, oh, you're going to go to the party? Let's drink. Let's do illicit drugs that I'm not going to mention in this video. Right? But once you're in your mid-late 20s, most of the time your friends start to settle down and they start to look at the bigger picture of things instead of just focusing on the moment. As well as my wife, of course. How could I neglect to mention that? I'm fortunate in my situation to have a wife. Not everyone can say that, but she's my rock. She understands the sacrifices I make towards my schooling. She understands that there's going to be a lot of late nights as I pursue my degree. But that same support, that same inspiration is what helps me power through it. And who knows if I would have had that same inspiration and drive if it wasn't for her. So I really hope that you could take something from this conversation. I want you to further your education just like I am, but you need to find your why. Find the reason why you think you need to go back to school. Maybe you feel like you could be doing more, or you could be doing more like I once thought. Maybe you have someone supporting you that you really haven't realized that they're there with you every step of the way. Maybe you just want to change a pace or you want to challenge yourself. Whatever the case is, you can never go wrong with furthering your education.